You know, Vikram, I think the show name Off the Record is very apt for today's discussion because we are talking about Vikram Sampath's book. My name is Gauhar Jan, The Life and Times of a Musician, and we're talking about a musician who was the first one to record on a gramophone. So I think the pun is very apt, you know. It is. So, Vikram, for those of our audience members who've just tuned in, would you like to again tell us what the book is about?
Sure, Anu. Yeah. Sure. My name is Gauhar Jan. It's the biography of one of the most colourful characters of Indian music, Gauhar Jan of Calcutta, who, as you mentioned, was the first Indian and the first woman to record. Very feisty musician who was a national and an international celebrity in her times, and had a sad downfall and death in Mysore. So, and the first Indian agent of the gramophone company, Frederick William Gaisberg, chose her to be the voice that he wanted to record first.
Well, I'm so glad that you've written this book because I do read quite a bit and I love biographies, but and I like music, but I have never heard of this musician. So, you know, congrats, and it is so, I think it's a great, it's serendipity that you've stumbled upon her name when you were researching for your previous book.
That's right. Yeah, it was in the course of the research of that book that I came across her name, and the ring in her name fixated me to her.
And she is such a fascinating character. She would ride around in a 4-horse buggy and was prepared to pay a fine, and when the Viceroy fined her, she threw a lavish party when 20,000 rupee party in those days when her cat gave birth to kittens. And another interesting anecdote is that she refused to give the Congress party half the proceeds of a concert because she was upset that Mahatma Gandhi didn't show up as promised.
In person, yes.
In person. But tell me, I mean, we talked about this earlier, that you were working in 3 languages. You had to look at research material in Bengali, Hindi and Urdu, and you don't know Bengali and Urdu.
That's right.
And you also say that it's not easy finding material on this particular musician. So how long did it take you and how did you go about it? I know a lot of people helped you, but
yes.
How challenging was it for you?
It was a big challenge because music in general, not only Gauhar Jan, music in general in India survives largely through anecdotal memories. There's very little documentation that we have. And for someone like her who was such a celebrity, today she's forgotten even by Hindustani musicians. So I had to make several trips to Calcutta, to Banaras, Azamgarh, Darbhanga, Rampur, Mysore, Mumbai, and several places where she spent significant parts of her life. Got several original documents from the Calcutta High Court, the book of poems of her mother, Badi Malka Jan, from London, Gaisberg's memoirs from Germany, and you know, it was almost like piecing all this information together.
And I think it all came to you quite effortlessly, you know, once you said, because all of that is there in the book, you know, towards the end of the book, you have all the documents here, you have all the poems, you have the court records and everything.
Yes.
So do you think it was just a lot of luck as well? The fact that they allowed you to publish it, I mean.
No, it's anyway out of copyright, but then yeah, luck certainly did play a role. But then there were moments of frustration, intense frustration, when, you know, I wondered whether I'd done the right choice in taking this on. But there again, I took inspiration from her because she took knocks at every corner of her life. Every crest of success, there was disaster lurking. And she kept up her spirits and her creative juices. If she could, I could too. So.
But how did you manage all this material, Vikram? Did you have a research assistant? Because it's staggering amount of information. How do you order it? Do you keep indexes? How do you do it?
Yes, I sadly don't have an assistant as yet, and so I have to go on my personal trips and then start cataloging it and index it. And for a genre like this, narrative non-fiction, first one does all the field work, gathers the material, and then it's like cooking the entire thing and garnishing it in a good way once the story is laid out.
But what you've done is laudable because let me tell you a little bit about Vikram. He's an engineer and a mathematician by training. He's done his MBA and he's a big achiever and all of that, and he's written this book. That is while he was working as a financial analyst, right? For Hewlett Packard. That's where you were.
That's right.
Still. So you must be a great time manager, big inspiration for young people who don't read much today. Yeah.
I think there is enough time for everything. It's just how you, as you said, manage time. And for things that you're passionate about, one doesn't make time. Time just comes up. So it's it's not a great effort for me.
And you are also a student of music.
That's right. That's right. I'm a student of Dr. Jayanti Kumaresh and earlier Srimati Bombay Jayashree and Vidwan D.V. Nagraj.
So would you come here to Madras for your
Yes,
classes?
I would. I would.
Yes. And then in Bangalore you don't have a teacher?
Yes, Jayanti Akka is in Bangalore.
I thought she was based here.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I thought I'd read a little bit from page 84, because I think it's a very sort of a historically relevant 1902, Saturday 8th November 1902 was a historic day, because that was the day the first native recordings were made. There was a makeshift recording studio was set up in 2 large rooms of a hotel in Calcutta, and there was a trial run with some other musicians. But Gauhar's entry into the studio on that Tuesday morning in Calcutta was to place her forever in the annals of world musical history. This is a lovely, lovely passage. It not just shows you what a talented singer she is, but what a shrewd businesswoman she was. And that's astonishing, because in those days when you didn't have agents and managers, you couldn't just afford to be creative and leave it at that. You also had to know how to manage your PR. So that aspect of hers is also quite remarkable.
Extremely. And for someone, as you said, without agents, you had her photographs appear on picture postcards, on matchboxes made in Austria, and remarkable.
And I think some of that was also probably genetic, this being able to manage her affairs, that came from her mother, who was another strong woman.
That's right. Badi Malka Jan, who was again of the Tawaif community, but extremely talented, singer, poetess, dancer, all of it.
Now, to use a cliche, I must say that this book is unput-downable. It's a page-turner. I know I make it sound like a thriller, but this must be on your must-read and must-buy list. Stay tuned. We have a little more to talk with Vikram Sampath. You're watching Off the Record.